Okay.
Okay.
So, right. So, um, Magic Yin Wealth. The man who has really impressed me over the last week with not just a 7-figure property portfolio, financial trader. This man does everything and magic and all. So let's introduce Magic Yin, Magic Yin, and let's get into it because this guy has done everything, and so Magic
Brilliant.
Yin,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello. Hi. Brilliant, John. Hi. Happy to be here. Good to see you again.
Yeah. I mean, we did talk the other day, just to introduce ourselves,
Mm.
but I've been doing my own little digging over the last
Good.
couple of days, and
Great.
to see who
You're
you
prepared.
were and stuff.
Great. Fabulous.
I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what you offer with a course, but it's not a paid course. It's a phone call for 45 minutes for people to get inspiration, because no better than inspiration from somebody that actually has done what you've done. So do you just want to say a little bit about what you've been doing and uh, with the property?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess I just start with the whole intro from the beginning. So I started, in terms of my entrepreneurial journey, I started in restaurants. So this was when I was in my early 20s. I started a restaurant together with my mum, so the two of us. It was quite difficult at the time, lack of funding, lack of a lot of things, lack of marketing, lack of network, and it's quite a simple restaurant. But fundamentally, I think our hardworking ethic and passion for food made that work.
Yep.
And back in 2009, 2010, we actually were selected to compete on Gordon Ramsay's F Word show. So this is not the Kitchen Nightmare. This is a total different show. Okay, not the Kitchen Nightmare. So we went on F Word. We did a cook-off, and we were then voted as the best Chinese restaurant in Scotland and runner-up in the UK.
That is incredible. That is incredible. I mean, is Gordon as shouty as he is in real life, or is he just a nice guy?
He's quite, I guess, what I call honest. He's quite honest. If you are bad, he literally tells you, and he's like, I mean, fucking, fuck, like, I hope you can cut the F off and beep it, but yeah, but he tried our food, and he was like, this is fucking amazing, like he was quite honest. It was good to meet him. And as you said, also do magic. I've been a magician since I was a teenager, so I actually had the opportunity and honor to perform live for him as well as the audience.
Wow.
They cut that bit off. I guess it was too much marketing, but it was actually recorded. Yeah.
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 Well,
So
maybe
that's where,
that's for a
yeah.
later show. What he does,
Well,
But to
yeah.
be honest, having your food passed by such a, star chef, I mean, that must mean a lot to you. I mean, really, I mean, have you got it up in your restaurant? Gordon Ramsay said we were
We
we,
do.
we were
We did.
brilliant. I mean,
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, after that, we used that as marketing, and also because it was televised, it was just marketing by itself.
yeah,
So it just, we kind of went viral, if you like, and the restaurant was crazy busy for several years.
yeah.
And as a result, we then grew another one and another one. So at the peak, we had 3 restaurants, 1 takeaway, and a food factory. So that
Wow.
was sort of that was a really quite a successful small business.
Yeah,
And from there, that's where I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. Everything was great. But like anything, if you've done it for a long time, especially the restaurant trade, when you're working 70, 80 hours a week on average, sometimes 90, and you don't really have any time to spend with the family, that's when I thought some change is needed.
yeah.
And that's when I then got into investing properties first initially, which was about 6 to 7 years ago. and I got into that. I got into properties. I had a bit of funds, made from the restaurant, so I invested it, I guess. And I didn't really particularly know what I was doing in properties because the first two was just basically some extra funds there, and I knew property was good and I invested in it, and that was it. Whereas I then went on courses and learned all this stuff, and I'm like, hey, the BRR, buy, refurb, refinance makes more sense. I can recycle my money out and grow faster. So as a result of that, in the last 5 years or so, I grew a seven-figure real estate portfolios. Is about 1.5, coming up for about £2 million at the moment.
That's
Um,
incredible. Yeah.
and and then I got into trading, financial trading. I just looked for platforms which enabled freedom.
Yep.
My goal wasn't just about the money; it was more about what can give me freedom and build wealth, and that's why I chose real estate and financial trading, as well as a bit of sports betting on the side, value and match sports betting. And they've been working really well for me, and that's really promoted the freedom. And I still have the one restaurant today, which is still running well.
Well, I think that's what it is about being an entrepreneur. There's not just one particular thing that you've got to be good at. You strive for more and more things. So work it. Obviously, the show with Gordon Ramsay, really boosted your
Yes.
your food, the making of that. But really, it's about working the 80, 90 hours a week. It's about, really, if you haven't have put that effort in, it's okay. A show can talk about you, and it will really good, but it's you as a person that actually made that successful. The
Yes.
show just gives you a little boost,
Yes,
which
that's actually a very good point you've mentioned, and there's a
yeah,
point I actually wanted to cover. I think, regardless of what profession we do, I think what a lot of people see is the tip of the iceberg, but there's so much below it.
yeah,
There's so much beneath it, in the sense that, sure, that show really catapulted us, made us into like sort of national, almost like for a couple of years, national fame. However, I think a lot of people don't realize that how many years it took, like 3 to 4 years of 80, 90-hour weeks of solid work to get to that stage.
yeah,
And it's the same with the property business, or it's the same with anything, investing or trading. I think what people see is, oh, I love that freedom, and I love to be on a beach, I'd love to be here, there, and then just take it easy. And the truth is, in real life, you cannot, if you're starting with very little, especially capital and connections, it's going to take some time to get there.
yeah.
It's not something that you just boom and you think you just put money into the market and you're going to make money out of it.
No.
It's not like it's everything's hard. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
Well, that's correct. Everybody would be doing it if it were that easy. I mean, especially with the markets, it's hard to sell. You get emotional, especially as a beginner. You can in property, to be honest. If you buy a house and you fall in love with that house, then you've got your money stuck. As a
That,
property
exactly.
investor, you need to
Yes.
step away from the property. Go, this is my job, and this is
Yes.
it. This is it. I mean,
You're
what
absolutely right.
with me, I've had 8 properties myself, and this last one, I made it too good. I made it too good, and we've lived here 4 years. I say
Oh
to my
wow. Good.
I say to my wife every month, are we ready to move on and get get another? It's just too good. I put a good extension on it and stuff like that. And of
Yes.
course, family family does, um, it doesn't stop you. But if you're buying, just as a residential property and moving on, you can't be doing that with kids. And that's how I built my little portfolio. Is I moved into the properties for 6 months, and then went and so we kind of, within 6 months, went from a wreck to something beautiful right to a wreck again with the houses. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
this one she wants to stop in, and it's been 4 years now. Um,
Yeah.
so with talking with
Good.
you the other day, I was just like, I need to get going again. You're actually an inspirational man.
Thank
Obviously
you.
you've got the seven-figure property portfolio, and you've worked hard for that. No, nobody takes that away from you. Um,
Mhm.
what you do is wait wait a minute. What am I doing? What am I doing? Maybe I should think about buying another house. And do you know, I haven't thought about that in years until I talked to you. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, have you got, if you have some equity or you have some capital,
yeah,
if you do properties right, using the BR model correctly, you kind of just need one pot of money if you
yeah,
do it right. That is,
yeah,
you don't really have to come up with brand new money for every property you get if you do it right. And if you've had 8 properties in the past,
yeah,
you will probably know as well. And this was
yeah.
just
The
on your point. This was a
25% loan
mistake
to
I
value.
made.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was a mistake I made in the first sort of 2 years of doing properties. I had the capital and I was buying wrong. I mean,
yeah.
I was buying with emotion. I was like, hey, this place is nice. I can see myself having a holiday
That's
here, brand new, spanking good. And I
it.
bought it because I had some money. But that is not the way how you make money from
No.
properties. Well, I mean, in the long term, of course, you can still make money. But
Mm.
if you want to maximize it, you want to be buying crap and you
Yeah.
want to be adding value to it, and then you can then go to another lender and recycle that money out so that you can use the same pot of money again and again, which is tax free as well.
And talking about emotions as well. When you're talking to an estate agent, it's easy to get caught up in that. Um, oh,
Yes.
we'll just raise it. We'll just raise it 5 grand, and you think, wait a minute, I've just raised it for 5 grand. The I were only meant to spend this much, and I've spent this much now. Um,
Mhm.
but I can only describe this property that I'm in now,
Mhm.
where it took 2 weeks to negotiate the price. So they wanted 135
Wow.
for
Was
the.
that a off market deal or was it on the market?
It were on the market.
Okay.
There were a little bit of a downturn
Mhm.
of property at the time, so there weren't the buyers out there. There weren't it weren't as sought after, at the
Mhm.
time. Um,
Mhm.
so they wanted 139 for the property.
Okay. Mhm.
So I was like, oh, I'll give you 105, because it's not being cheeky
Mhm.
to give offers. Um,
Mhm.
okay,
No.
if somebody's had the property on for a week, they might not accept the offer. But as an entrepreneur, you want it for the best price. So if you think,
Mhm.
oh, that maybe that's a little bit of a cheeky offer, do it. Go
Yeah, I
and
mean,
give that offer.
at the end of
So
the day, it's a business. So, and you're there to make the profit. And as
that's
long
it.
as you are not being morally or ethically bad,
Yeah,
and it's reasonable and there's a win-win at the end of the day, I think it's just entrepreneurial.
yeah. I mean, so I was saying,
I'm just gonna
you've just
open this door because the internet,
yeah, you've just frozen.
the connection, eh?
Yeah.
Just the connection. Yeah, if I open this door, I might get a better connection.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it actually took 2 weeks to negotiate. They didn't have another buyer, so of course I had the upper hand a little bit there.
Mhm. Good.
And when they came back to me, I upped my price by £1,000.
So
Every and so it
that's very
took
little
it.
for a
Yeah.
property. It's good.
So it,
Uh,
by 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 the end of it, they just wanted to get rid of it, and I actually got the property for 115. I actually got the property for 115. So the original price were 139, and I got it for 115. Just by that, you know,
Sorry, I think the internet's a little bit. I
yeah,
might
yeah.
try.
You are frozen a little bit, but I can cut that out, so it don't matter.
Apologies, John. I'm just going to move to a better place where there's better reception, and it should be okay. I'm just going to move this. Yeah, it's just where I am. Is that the weakest signal bit of the house? Apologies.
No, it's all right.
I'll go somewhere. I need to go there. Not much bad reception. Yeah. Hi guys. Oh yeah. Okay, close. Close it. Just okay. Just close it for a sec. Just like close it like that. It's fine. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, John.
No problem.
This
No problem.
This should be okay. This is the best reception place, to be honest, of the house, so it should be all right.
Better. That is tons better.
Yeah.
So yeah,
perfect.
As I was saying, I actually got the property for 115 when the original price were at 139.
What was the market value, just out of curiosity? The market value.
So what at the time?
Like what was? I mean, they were 139.
Yeah,
what was the market value?
They did actually, the market value when it went to the mortgage and the value was coming out, they did say 140.
Oh wow! So that was quite a good discount you got. That's good. That's a good one. That's how you want to do it. That's it.
It was incredible. Yeah. It was incredible. So I actually worked. I had a job then, a full-time job. So I actually worked on evenings and weekends to renovate it. So it was in a state. I had to back to bare brick, extension on the back, and 4 years. I've just had it valued again just 6 months ago at 240.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a natural story whereby property is brilliant if you do it right, especially if that was a investment property which you can make income on a monthly basis with. Yeah. That would have been that's the kind of property we really want to get. Below market, like I said, add value.
Yeah. I've made it too good, so she didn't want to move. But yeah, that's definitely one of my best deals. And if don't ever think, we're talking to people that are maybe beginners in this, and rushing into things. Don't think you have to buy that one. Because you loved it, because it might be this price at the end after a renovation or something like that. If it's meant to be yours, it will be. So just step away from it, and
typically, if I'm like honestly speaking, like when I'm purchasing a property or an investment property, I would probably be looking at 8 or 10 before I actually make an offer for one, and that's just the math behind it. 100%. And typically, they're all either market value or below market value. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'll probably nowadays more likely buy a source of property from a deal sourcer, which is off the market, because that's where the money's made right away. Yeah. And then you spend 20, 30K or so to renovate it. Yeah. And then you go and approach another lender, and then you recycle all that money out, which is completely tax-free. I mean, like, honestly, you can make 50 to 100K somewhere in between within a year, recycle all that out, and it's tax-free. Yeah. And it's just a great way to make money, and I think it's very, very safe. And for me, that's where my bigger capital, say 50K or more, goes. Anything less than 50K, I'll probably trade it, financial markets, cryptos. You're a crypto guy yourself. I love cryptos. I've been in it since 2017, and stocks and options. I've pretty much forex traded everything. But I would only trade with anywhere between 20 to 40k usually, and then anything less than 5k, that's what I use for sports betting. As a side hustle kind of thing. And but if you're using 1 or 2k in order to make a 500-600 a month, it's still a good return, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to explain later to do with sports betting, and also if you're in the market, spread betting, how that can be tax efficient as well.
Yes,
To do
absolutely.
as long as
And
you're
it's,
doing it, as long as
not
you're doing it safe.
like real
Sorry.
unlike real estate. With properties, if you don't have 40 or 50k, you couldn't really do it.
Yeah.
But with sports betting, you could literally start with £200 or £300, which is a very small pot of money. And by match betting, you can build up to a couple of £1,000 in the first 1 month or two.
Yeah.
After that, you could then make literally £500-600 very realistically with just a £1,000 pot to do value betting. And I think it's quite an attractive area for a lot of people that do not have a large amount of capital, and it isn't gambling when you do it right.
No, but this is the thing that I'm getting with. You've got to, if you're putting £300 in, dollars, whatever, you need to step away from it. You need to not act rational, and it's easy said than done, because I'm guessing you've done the same as me. You've learned from your mistakes, and now you've got this wealth of knowledge over time, and it takes time.
Exactly. It took lots of time, yes. I would say you couldn't do it with less than 1,000 hours in any profession.
No.
It has to be more than 1,000 hours, in my opinion. And trust me, the number of accounts I blew up with forex trading over. I mean, I'm being honest. The first couple of years, I blew 4 or 5 accounts trading forex.
I mean,
this is
what I love about you. You're so honest. Even on your TikToks and stuff, you're not there for the hard sell. You're an honest man, and I like that. But it's the same with me as well. I blew accounts. So I'm only in crypto since 2021, but I'm 10 and a half years into the stock market. So
wow.
So I've done a lot of, but I use spread betting, and that way it's more tax efficient. Obviously, I fill up my you have
ISA.
ISA. You've got a certain bracket that you can do, and that's tax efficient. Stick that into whatever mining company or whatever, and just let that run. But my main thing was spread betting, and if you over leverage, it can be bad. But if you if you and I had to learn. I mean, I had some very, very terrible losses. And I think as a beginner, you do that, and you've got to do research. It's okay speaking to some guru online or what have you, but you've got to pick the person that has actually done it and had years in it. I mean, you see a lot of 25-year-old TikTokers. I've done it all. I make this much a month and what have you. The bit that I like about you is you're not that person. You'll share the knowledge. I think you've got a free 45-minute talk. Just to open up people's open people's minds, because this is what it's all about.
And that session is really there to open people's minds. I mean, I do mention what kind of further services that I'm able to offer, but there's no sales going on. There's no pushy sales, nothing like that. It's just building that relationship and and which is very important to me, you know, building that long-term relationship. And if the person wants to then go further, they can. And if they choose not to, it's completely up to themselves. And, you know, I mean, if you've done courses like this before, you know, from so-called gurus, you know, like trading courses and property, you know how expensive these things are. I mean, we're talking thousands, if not tens of pounds for this kind of thing. And I actually paid for my trading and for my properties. And thinking back in hindsight, in a way, you probably don't need to pay that much for this stuff. And I just wanted to provide something that's more genuine, that's very affordable. It's actually cheap, but there's actually so much value there. And I'm just being honest, and I'm glad that you recognize that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you've really got to think about where you're spending this money. And if you are a beginner and you've got money, spending it on this course, that course, whatever. Okay, you know, if you believe in the person and you know, definitely people should take this 45-minute talk with you, which I mean, we did it the other day, and it's opened my mind as well.
Thank you.
We had a talk the other day, and it opened my mind.
Appreciate it.
I think it's well worth it taking that. But what you've got...
Just on that point you just said, those courses that, you know, especially a property investment course, some people will have to take out a loan in order to buy that course. And in order to buy that course, you're like one property down.
Yeah, so, one property down the pan. But I mean, we've me and you, we've spent the money, but we've also learned as well. Where I think the best option is obviously take the 45-minute call with you, but is to meet people with the same, who want the same as you. So there's Telegram, there's Instagram. Meet people on social media that are at the same point as you, or maybe even a little bit above. Learn from each other. Of course, you've always got to kind of get your facts and make your own decisions about anything financial. But I'm a true believer in that. You are who you hang around with. You are that person. If somebody...
That's the saying, the top five people you hang around with, you're the average of them all. If you hang around with 5 successful people, you're the 6th. If you hang around with 5 rich people, you're the 6th. You hang around with 5 smart people, you're the 6th. You hang around with 5 geniuses, you're the 6th. You hang around with 5 idiots, what do you become?
five idiots. Yeah, you're not very. But I mean, we're not saying go and hang around with a load of posh people. We just
that mindset.
Just with the mindset, because it's easy for like your mum or a family member or even your wife, anybody, to say that's a little bit of a risk, and that might just change your mind a little bit, you know, confuse you a little bit. It's always good to be on the earth, you know, down to earth. But if you go and hang around with the people that are thinking the same as you, maybe watch them buy a property first and see how they go. Learn from their mistakes. I mean, everybody says there's no time but now. But look, why don't you watch somebody for 6 months, see how they go? If you're a new beginner, and we watched people, but of course we paid for it first.
Yeah, unfortunately, but hey, having said that, no regrets. Hey, I mean, life is all about lessons, and without paying for that, I wonder if I could have found some of these knowledge. Maybe not, you know. So, you know, as soon as I paid for that, even though it was quite a high price, you know, it did teach me how to refinance. It did teach me what kind of properties to buy to win in the short term. It did teach me how to save tax. It did teach me how to make more income on a monthly basis. So all that is very, very useful. However, you don't necessarily have, now that we've got this experience, and I know there's like property investment networks and PPN and PPM, all sorts of networks that you could have tapped into with real life people for free. Like later on, that's kind of how I did it. I have a few really good friends who are in properties. I went to these property networking events, which comes to the circle of people that you surround yourself with.
Yep.
And I guess it's quite handy that I have the restaurant business. I pretty much just say, hey, do you want to come for some food? People are not going to turn down food, and then they come for food. And we
definitely not me.
Yeah, that's not me. Yeah, and then we have a chat for a couple of hours. And you learn a lot from people like that by just chatting with them. So arguably, I didn't have to pay thousands or 10,000 for a course, but there's no regrets. I mean, what's happened, and you just grow. I guess you take that with you and you grow with it.
My son wants to say hi.
All right.
Hi.
Well, hello. Hi. How are you? Hi.
This is Louis.
Hello. He's a handsome boy.
Oh,
huh?
he's beautiful.
Hello.
He's beautiful, aren't you?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on then.
How are you?
Go with mum. Huh? You want a cuddle? All right. Love you.
Well,
Love you. Go to bed.
That's quite sweet.
Love you.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So we do it for them anyway. We do it all for the family. We do it for them. It's not really for us, is it? I mean, it's good, but really we do it all for them. So that's good. But yeah, he's handsome.
Yeah.
He's really handsome. He's gonna break some hearts. I know that.
And this is another reason why we do what we do, or I do what I do, because it gives me freedom to actually spend time with them.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, when I was running the restaurant, here's the thing, like I think in the past, maybe it was just a lack of experience, because I think any business, even a restaurant, any business, if you build it correctly with the right system, you leverage the right people and the right system, and you learn to trust and don't think like a small business person, think like an entrepreneur. Any business, I think you can leverage and grow in a way that it becomes more and more passive over a certain period of time. I think you can do that with a business. You can do that with property trading, sports betting, and that's sort of how my mind has worked for the last 5 or 6 years. I guess my mistake before that was when I ran the restaurant. I was always hardworking, but I always thought of like a small business. I always had a small business mind, and I think if you control everything and if you want to run a business by yourself, you couldn't grow it. The only way you can grow it is to leverage other people and trust the right people and the system.
Other people's time. Just leverage other people's time, give them a wage, and but you have got to trust the people.
Wage. I mean, if they deserve it, a really good wage. I found even now running the restaurants, I do still have a single restaurant unit, and it's a busy restaurant, but I'm like never there, because if you find the right manager and the right chef, and you pay them slightly higher than your competition, you treat them with respect, and they understand the system, they've been with you for a long time, they're worth it. Trust me, you don't want to be saving pennies for pounds. No. You save pennies to lose pounds. It's not worth it. You pay them a little bit more, reward them a little bit more, but they're going to do more, and the business just wins, and and then you free up your time. And that's how ultimately I think people should run. I sincerely believe people should become their own boss. Run their own business, do something they're passionate in. Ideally, they're passionate in, because there's so much competition. It's so hard. Even if you have passion in something, it's not going to be easy. So,
especially in food, it's
exactly.
dog eat dog.
So imagine if you keep doing it. It just doesn't make sense. So having that passion, finding that passion, and then building a business model and a system, and leveraging other people's time and money if you can, and system, in order to then free up your time, given some time. I think that's the way to freedom. And it isn't just about the money, it's also about that freedom, what you can do with it. Because if you ask most people, if you didn't work, if you lost your job today, if you didn't work, how long can you last? I would say most people is about a month.
Yeah.
I'm not being rude in any way, I'm just being honest. Whereas, if you set things up and you do it right, your answer could be 2 years, 5 years, or forever. And that's a good place to be in. And I think if we do things right over time, within a few years, we can achieve that.
I think people, especially in the property market, and it maybe you're 18 years old and you think to yourself, I've got no money at all. I can't buy a property. I can't do that. Now, it's about the mindset. It's a lot of money, especially if you've got a 25% loan to value to actually scrape up.
Yes.
You know, so you a
Yes.
massive deposit if you want to start a
Yes.
business. Um,
Yes.
but there's things within property that you can start as young as
Yes.
18. If you, even if you've got zero money, you can start this. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know what they can do. We're talking about property events and things like that, free property events that you can go to. Um,
Mhm.
it's important if you want to start in property, go to these property events. That's a really good start. Get to know
Yes.
some people. That's a really good
Yes.
start. But
Yes.
you've still got no money. You've still got no money, and you think to yourself, "Oh, what can I do?" So the next time you go to a property event, a
Mhm.
week before or maybe 3 days before, you see a property because you've learned a little bit now. You've learned a little bit. You've been to a few property events. You know how it kind of works a little bit. You go to a estate agent and you go, that house is 30% less. You know, the RIP. You know, it's 30% less.
Mhm.
I'll make an offer on that. I'll make an offer on that. I've got no money. Zero money. I'll make an offer on that. And what I'll do is I'll go to this property event in 2 days' time or 1 day time with that offer. And the best thing about these property events is that they're usually packed with people ready to buy.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you've got this deal, you're 18 years old with no money, and you've got this deal and you network. And you say, I've got this property here, 30% less,
Mhm.
than what it is. It needs it. Take pictures. And you can actually sell that deal to somebody.
Exactly. Deal packaging. Yeah. That's
You,
how I buy my deals nowadays.
yeah,
I buy them for, you can sell, yeah, anything between 1,000 to £5,000, depending on the value of the property and how much you're getting. You
yeah.
you literally pay the deal sourcer, as long as they sourced it
Deal
correctly and
sourcer.
professionally.
That's correct. Yeah,
You
deal
pay them
sourcer.
that, and I think some of you who are new out there might be thinking, who's going to pay thousands for that? But if you think about it, if you're already saving 15%, 20% on the property, which equates to say 20 to 50k range, to pay 2-3k is nothing in order to save that much, and it's still a good deal. And there will be property investors that are interested in those deals, including
100%.
myself.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that you you're saving the time for this person to go out, look at the 8 properties,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not like them properties, and you've
Mm-hmm.
got you've got to think the property investors don't really want to spend a lot of time if
Yeah.
there's a deal out there, and if you say, look, I'll give you this deal. Don't tell them where it is for a start. Don't tell them where it is. Around about this is the
Yeah.
area. These are the pictures. This is working percentages. This is the
Mm-hmm.
percent that I bought it for. This is the
Mm-hmm.
percent that is potential.
Mm-hmm.
And go, look, 2 grand for that deal, or 3 grand, whatever. However good your sales pitch is at 18 years old. And like you said, you'd be interested as well if even
Mm-hmm.
if it is an 18-year-old with no money, um, packaged up this deal and came to you and said, look, here's a deal. If it's right for you, would you buy it for 2.5 grand?
Yeah. As long as the deal makes sense, the
If the
numbers add up. I would. Yes.
100%. And I know I would do that too. So okay, it's nice, great, fantastic. If you've got 20 grand in your bank, go and buy a house, great. But
Mm.
there's also room for people with zero capital in property just to
Mm.
just to build um, this financial freedom. I mean, where else are you going to get some, you've packaged up a deal within 3 days and you've sold it. If you don't sell it, sell the deal, you're only ringing up the estate agent to say, sorry, the deal's fallen through.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
that's it.
the risk is very, very low. Typically, if you were to start any business, you got to invest some money. This is like there's like no investment apart from your own time,
Yeah.
and yeah, and if you think about it, just by packaging one professional deal and selling one deal, you've pretty much made the average UK full-time salary for a month.
Yeah.
Just one deal, and then you're working for yourself, which is actually a great way for somebody with probably a lack of initial funds to start in if you want to get onto the property ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way to build.
Yes,
To
yeah.
build, so you're building your knowledge from people that you're selling a deal to, and that's incredible, because if you come up with a deal and you're 18 years old, the amount of respect in the property group
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
becomes, this young lad or this young girl, woman, come to me with this deal, and they'll introduce you to their friends,
Mm.
and of course the spiral starts.
Yeah.
um,
Reputation. Yeah. Mm.
yes. So, uh, after all that, we'll actually we'll move on to crypto, and
Okay.
how you actually found crypto, how many years ago, and what's not your knowledge, but have you got any like stories of you know crypto?
Yeah, so I started in cryptos in 2017, and I was lucky. Let's put it that way. I got lucky with my timing. I heard about it from a couple of friends who said, have you done cryptos? Have you tried cryptos? They just started then. Actually, they said it's really good. It's pumping. I'm like, what is this crypto stuff? So that's when I kind of got into it. But like anything new, you make some mistakes. Sending the wrong coin to the wrong wallet address and all sorts of mistakes like that over the years. This doesn't work. So I kind of got lucky and I got into it at the right time, because 2017, beginning of 2017, that was just after the 2016 halving event.
Yeah.
And when Bitcoin does the halving, cryptos tend to pump a lot. So I put a few £1,000s in, and I made like 600% return on investment in 2017, and that was my experience with cryptos, purely based on luck. But here's the thing, right? I was at the peak. I think I was up about 700-800%, but I actually only cashed out about 100% return on investment at the end, because lack of experience and knowledge. You don't know when to exit. You get
Sell.
carried away by emotions. You're like, hey, I'm waiting for another couple of 20%, another 50%.
Forever. Yeah, this is going forever.
And quite honestly, trust me, if you're new to it, that is not how cryptos work. Even today, I have mentees or students that buy cryptos, and they actually follow like my sort of my alerts or my recommendations, and they would buy it. Like 10 days later, a week later, 2 weeks later, they'll be like, why is it not pumping? Why have I not made much? This is not how, I think with cryptos, you've got to look at it now with this many years of experience. I would say as long as you're buying the right coins, the good coins at a low price, getting in low or as low as you can, and when they do pump, protect your profits as it goes up. You got to have a exit rule, how much it goes up, how much you're going to sell. And if you do that, especially during a halving year, I think you're going to do very well with cryptos. But fundamentally, buy the right cryptos. A lot of them are scams, so just be careful. Some of them goes, rug pull and all sorts of scams, and they disappear and you lose all your money. So if you buy the right ones at the right time for a good price, and believe me or not, if they drop, I actually sometimes DCA and buy more. I actually don't sell for a loss, and as long as they're the right asset, and I would hold for when they do pump every 25 to 50%. I would sell partials as it goes up. Because don't forget, no matter how much it goes up, if you don't sell, it's just fake profits.
Exactly. exactly. So I mean,
Mm,
this is it. I think every cycle, usually we have the halving, we have a pump, but every
mm,
cycle has been a little bit different. I mean, last cycle it was utility. Do not go for meme coins. Utility.
mm,
That's all
mm,
that TikTok was saying. All social
mm,
media. Utility. XRP. Whatever. Utility. And
mm,
a
mm,
lot of people missed out on the meme coins.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
uh, you've really got to make your own decisions with stuff. I mean, yeah, I went for a lot of utility tokens
Mhm,
in 2021.
mhm, mhm.
But I also got into Shiba Inu very
Yes.
very early, and
Yes.
Dogecoin,
Yes.
very very early too. Um,
Mhm.
and I think yeah, I think these people on TikTok, yeah, maybe great and what have you, but they don't know what's going on as well. I think they have a lot of knowledge, but I also think that you have got to learn from your own mistakes as well. So
Of course.
definitely, watch what's going on. Everybody's talking about Brett right now.
Mm, mhm,
Um,
mhm. Yeah.
Now, what is it? 3 billion, is it? 3 billion market cap or something?
Sure.
I
I've
don't know
seen
what it
lots of
is.
videos.
I don't know what it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
today, but that has risen to that
Mm,
price in the last 6 months.
mm, mhm,
What is going? There's going to be a lot of people with a lot of gains, and they will will sell at some
mm,
point, and it
mm,
will drop at some point.
mm. Oh
So
yes. Oh yeah.
what,
Mm.
it's okay to get into something early, but really think about what you're doing when you're getting into something a bit late.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
When something's past a 1 billion market cap.
Yes,
um
and just on that point, and especially that you mentioned when you follow these TikTokers or YouTubers, etc., do be careful because one of my rule of thumb, right? Obviously, you want to be learning from these YouTubers and TikTokers. You want to be seeing what's good out there because when there's demand,
yeah,
there's a lot of talk.
yeah,
It's going to sort of pump some coins. But however, one of my rule of thumbs is that I never chase, and I think I would recommend that to you people out there as well. If something's gone up two, three, 400%,
mhm,
I just don't simply do not get in
no,
because sure it might go up another 100 or 200%, but that's purely dependent on luck.
yeah,
You don't know which way it's going to go, and it's probably more likely to drop by
drop
30,
back,
40, 50% or more. So if you find a good token and it hasn't pumped yet, get in and get in low, and which then brings back to my point, get in low. This is pretty much, Warren Buffett, of course, like he's like one of the best investors out there, right? But one of sort of his rule is pretty much just buying low on the right assets
yeah,
and hold, and then looking at it in the long term. And nowadays, apart from forex trading and options trading, which is a bit more shorter term for me, in terms of investing in assets like solid stocks and solid cryptos, I pretty much just get in on them when they're low, and I'm a little bit patient. And within anywhere between 3 to 12 months, they're bound to pump during a halving year.
yeah.
Well, no guarantees, but there's very high chance they will. And when they do, you protect your profit. So I would say no matter who says what, if it's gone up so much, don't chase.
Yeah.
That's one rule because you're more likely to lose a lot than win a lot.
Yeah.
So get in low.
This is it. I mean, of course, I've
Mhm.
been in stocks for a long time,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
if you draw your trend lines, it's kind of like a rule of thumb with stocks. You're up and down 1, 2, 3%, whatever, and that's
Mm.
big moves. For stocks, but
Mm. Mhm.
with crypto, it seems to just blast off, and
Yes.
you
Yeah.
you
Oh
you
yeah.
can, but with the blast off, it also can come down crashing. So I me, I never buy on a green line. Never buy on a green line. I always buy on a nice pullback. On a nice pullback.
Yes, after the pullback, yeah,
Yeah,
during pullbacks, yeah. Yeah,
I just DCA into the, I've,
good
I've,
idea.
I've chased first hour coins, something that's just been created
Yes, yes,
an hour
yeah.
ago. I did
Mhm,
chase them, and
mhm,
what I've learned is if they'll go up, brilliant, but they
mm,
always come down to a level. And then,
mm.
if it has got a great community, because obviously you can find these communities on Telegram
Yes.
and Twitter X. You can
Mhm,
if the community is still there, buy a little bit.
mhm,
Not financial advice,
mhm.
obviously, but ready for the next pump, because people do want their money back. And if they've bought at the top, they will buy at the bottom as well, just to get their money back. So,
Good,
so
good to buy at the bottom.
to
Yeah.
get, yeah. But
Mhm.
I mean, the
So,
holders
see, another
do.
point. Right. Sorry. Another
Sorry.
point is just like nowadays with any kind of trading, I'm really just following statistics and math. For me, it's all about statistics and math. Whether I'm trading options, whether I'm trading forex, or whether I'm buying or investing in stocks or cryptos, or even with the sports betting, it's all about the math and statistics.
Yeah,
When I have advantage, when I have a high probability of win, and when the risk is low, that's great. I'll take it.
yeah,
Like those new coins you said, sometimes they pump thousands of percent.
yeah,
But if they've already gone up 100, 200%, I simply maybe I go in like maybe a couple of £100, small amount. If I lose
yeah.
it, it doesn't matter.
Nothing. Yeah,
But that's it. Because and even if they go another 200-300%, I do not think, hey, oh shit, should have gone in. No, I think once you become sort of a professional trader, that emotion is the emotion is always there. We're human
yeah,
beings,
yeah,
but you learn to really control it well, and you don't think, hey, I missed out on this. Hey, I could have got another 20%. No, you follow the math and you follow the rules,
yeah,
and that's what I would recommend. And again, not financial advice, but it's worked very well for me doing it that way in the last couple of years. It's consistency. Trading for me is about consistency. It isn't about, hey, I made 200% here and then within 3 months I lose it all. It's about, hey, I made 20%, 50% here, but hey, I keep making 20, 30, 40% ongoing.
yeah. Well, that's it's not about uh, getting £1 million within a month. It's
No,
about getting a
no, yeah.
million pounds within a longer
3
time.
years, 5 years, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever you set.
yeah,
Yeah, it's got to be realistic. Yeah,
and
and
do you know
and I
what?
would say, if you start with very little or nothing, if you're targeting a million to become a millionaire in 1 year or less, don't do that. I would
No,
definitely say be more realistic.
yeah, be more realistic,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
things happen. I mean, it's like I started my first company when I was 23, and um, built that up to a considerable, good thing,
Yes.
and then lost it all, and then had to start again. So things do happen
Mhm.
during that time, but
Of course.
I don't think I know of a famous millionaire that hasn't gone broke before he's gained again. And
Mhm.
it went right the second time, or even the third time.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's not
I
about,
mean, yeah.
if you lose once, and you go, I'm not going to do that again.
No, that's not going to work. Yeah,
No,
you've got to stick with it. Like anything,
stick to the
stick with
strategy.
it. Give it enough time. Sooner or later, it's just a matter of time. I think as long as you're determined,
Yeah,
as long as you don't make any big killing mistakes, don't invest all your savings, everything into something that you don't understand and lose it all like very quickly. If you're
yeah,
quite steady and be patient. By patient, I don't mean don't do nothing. You're working very, very hard
yeah,
and very, very smart, but you're very patient. And I think that can work. Like you said there, I mean, in trading with cryptos, I got in lucky, okay, and I made 100. I cashed out 100% when I should have cashed out 700 or 800,
yeah,
but I cashed out 100%. I got lucky. But guess what happened the second year? I thought, hey, this is a brilliant thing. It just pumps. No, that is not how the market works.
yeah,
You think
yeah,
you could just always pump? No. Second year, I lost quite a lot of money, and I blew, like I said, 4 or 5 forex trading accounts
Yeah.
because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then the third year got better, and it wasn't until really the fourth year that I actually became consistently profitable, and I have been for the last 2 years, two and a bit of years, actually just over 2 years consistently. But I had 1 year of luck, which I made money.
Yeah.
1 to 2 years of failures, and then it became a success. And I think that like you said there, exactly, I agree. You going completely, even going broke or losing or failing a couple of times, it's quite normal.
It's normal. It's normal to
Mm-hmm.
fail.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you don't learn by doing everything right. You do, you know. I were very young at the time,
I wonder if
and
it's possible.
I
If
could.
you've got no experience in something, I wonder if you can do everything right the first time round. I
No,
don't think it's
you
possible.
can't. You can't.
Uh-huh.
And you may fail, but if you're a young person, you don't give up. Don't give up. Maybe find a different way. Um, talk to
Mm,
more people.
mm,
But yeah, the truth is, if I would have give up and started working for McDonald's or because at the time I was young,
mm.
so McDonald's were paying you know uh, 8.50 an hour or something, which were a lot when I were 18.
Oh, yeah,
um,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
you know,
Uh,
if I
remember.
would have give up and just started that, then I wouldn't be where I were today. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Um,
Mhm.
and you get tougher. You get
Oh,
tougher
yeah.
as well.
Don't get me wrong. I think if you're in a situation where you have to get a job,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
you probably should, but never give up on that bigger dream and
Yeah.
what you love. And I would probably recommend, on top of that job, you work that side hustle to begin with
Yeah.
and keep doing it. And eventually that side hustle becomes your full-time hustle.
And I think with your TikTok as well, you do go on about a few side hustles,
Yes.
with especially on the internet, and
Yes.
and you can get a little bit of money, but actually
Mm-hmm.
through the day it works
Mm-hmm.
out to be a nice wage, with your
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know
So obviously the restaurant, the trading and the property, these are the main businesses, obviously. But on top of that, I've tried. I mean, I guess there's a mistake I made over the years as well, but everybody does. One of the mistakes I made over the years is that, especially the early years, is that I tried maybe too much things. So here's one thing I would actually recommend to people is that don't try too many. Well, don't do too many things at once because then nothing works out. And because there was a period of time like that I did that and nothing really worked. And then I then drilled down to which three things that I want to focus on best, and I just went all in on those, and it just works better. The results start to come. So some of the side hustle, they're worth it in my opinion. One of them is my favorite side hustle is sports betting.
mm,
And I say it's a side hustle. I do know people that's actually a main hustle. It's even more than a main hustle for them. It's just everybody's different. And for me, my risk tolerance, I don't want to be trading with too much money in this kind of thing because that kind of money I would always put in properties because it's just so much safer. But I'm willing to risk a couple of £1,000 in order to make literally with a couple of thousand, like £1,000 or £2,000, you could genuinely and legitly make anywhere between 400 to £1,000 per month tax-free income from sports betting. But a mixture of matched and value sports betting. And for me, to risk that small amount to make that is still decent. And don't forget, you're only working 15 minutes a day with this. So the hourly rate is still works out to be very good if you do the math. It's not like you're getting paid £500 to work 40 hours a week. No, you'd be working an hour a week. Which is still a pretty decent, if you think about it from that perspective, and it's quite a nice side hustle, and especially if you enjoy it. So that's my favorite side hustle. I've tried a couple of other things, drop shipping and user
yeah.
testing.
Mhm.
Drop shipping, in fact, actually did pretty well with that. I started 4 years ago. First 2 years, I did pretty well. Sales for the first year was about 20K. I mean, not fantastic, but it's not shabby.
Hey,
Second
that's
year,
that that's the average wage right now.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
even more than the average wage right now. So
similar maybe. And
yeah,
the second year was about 35K. But these 2 years were worth it because my profit margin was about 30%. Third year, even though the sales might have looked good, but when your profit's like 5%, it's no longer worth it. And I think it's because of a saturated market and just too many people doing it, too much competition. So that's when I gave that side up, and I don't no longer do that. User testing is actually a little side hustle I tried, which is phenomenal, and is one of my regrets in life. And basically, whereby you go online and you provide feedback to help companies improve their website, and for every sort of interview you have, it's like an interview like this, what we're doing now, and they show you, and then show you the website, and you spend an hour telling them what your honest opinions are, what you think about the website, and for that hour you get paid anywhere between 50 to 80 pounds, and you help them to improve their website. And literally, with that side hustle, you could easily make anywhere between 200 to 700 pounds. I mean, I know it's quite a big jump, but it just depends how many tests there are and how good you are at it. I was making an average 400 or 500 pounds a month with it, but that only takes 3 to 4 hours. One a week, 3 to 4 hours. 600 pounds is it's okay. I like it and enjoy it. However, I made a mistake. I recorded a live session, which you're not allowed, and as a result, I actually did it to help people do better with that side hustle. I was trying to help people, and I didn't know you're not allowed to record, and as a result, I got banned. Right. So hey, you learn and you grow. So that was one of my regrets, but it's not a huge deal, I suppose. But it's still quite if you enjoy something, you can get 400 or 500 pounds a month for very little work. It's still a shame to lose it. So that's anybody who wants to try that. User testing is a good side hustle. But my favorite is sports betting.
Yeah, I mean,
and I've been doing that for 3-4 years, like straight, like consistently.
I mean, really, you could put the 2 and 2 together. With the testing. Testing maybe 2 times a week. If you're a young person, testing 2 times a week and putting a deal together for an entrepreneur.
Yes, and do some sports betting. Do a bit of sports betting. It doesn't take like an hour or 2 a week.
Yeah.
All that together, you could be making a full-time salary.
Yeah. Yeah, and really just working maybe 6-7 hours, and you're making your full-time salary. So just it's about opening minds, and I think that this is why people need to get onto your TikTok, get onto your Linktree, have that 45-minute talk with you, and look, if you're 18 and watching this now, it's really important that you go and have that 45-minute talk. See what you can do. See if we can improve your life.
Worst case scenario, you've lost 45 minutes of your life. That's the worst.
Do you know what? I don't think.
Just being honest though, especially if you've got lack of fund and you've never tried sports betting, I cannot guarantee you'll make money by learning that just the sports betting alone. It's because with match betting, it's guaranteed you cannot lose.
We'll just say a little bit about the tax with spread betting and sports betting as well, and the fact that it's actually the zero tax in the UK, which is incredible. Especially if you're a beginner stock trader, I definitely look at spread betting if you want to learn with small amounts of money. Learn the upwards and downwards, and just get into a stock. Learn about that. Learn about that company, and then you'll find trends. And then put your £10, $10 on whatever, and just do little trades like that. You can, and it's tax free. Tax free.
Yes. Yes. Start small. Yeah. Absolutely. with sports betting as well. I mean, for those of you who are completely new, you don't understand how can you make money by betting on sports, because you heard of a lot of people that's lost money. So basically, match betting is whereby you back and lay the same bet for the same thing. So let's say Liverpool, you bet for Liverpool to win, you back it, and then you lay for Liverpool to win, which means you want Liverpool to draw or lose. So whatever the result, you are going to break even with your qualifying bet. And then what happens is that new bookies are going to want to attract new customers. They give you the free bet. And using the free bet, you use the calculator and you do the exact same thing. You back and lay, but you lay and back a different amount. At the end of the day, no matter what, you're going to guarantee a profit. And it was the same with the online casinos. You go to the casinos and you go on low risk. So there's certain casinos that says, bet £10 qualifying bet, a slot machine or roulette or the blackjack. You play that, and then after the £10 have been played, after the £10, you might be £2 down, you might be £3 down, you might even be £2 up already. But as a result, they're going to give you 50, 100, 200 free spins, which then makes you more money. So these kind of offers are pretty much guaranteed to make you some kind of money. It's not going to make you like a millionaire overnight, but with just a £200-300 initial investment, with match betting alone and casinos, you can make about anywhere between 1 to 3K, depending on luck, minimum £1,000. So after that, when you've got that pot of money, you then do value betting, which is what I do nowadays on a daily basis. Value betting, typically I do it with horses on each way bets. And what value betting is that I have a system which can find a particular horse that has a good chance of winning or at least placing, and you are going with the bookie that's offering a slightly higher odds than usual. So their odd is higher than it should be. So when you do that, what happens is that the math and the statistics skews to our side. So essentially we become the bookie. So when you do things like that, it's no longer gambling. One is guaranteed profit and one is high probability profit.
Yeah.
And again,
it's not about. It's not about making a fortune overnight. It's about chipping away at making money. You're chipping away at what your daily wage is. Chipping away.
Yeah, I mean, and would I risk £10,000 to make a bigger amount with sports betting? No, I wouldn't. I know people who do, and they do really well. I mean, I know some people who make a lot from sports betting, but it's just for my risk appetite. I would rather put that towards investing or properties, especially properties, because it's just safe. It's very difficult to lose your money in property if you know what you're doing. So that's typically where the big money goes. But am I willing to risk £1,000 or £2,000 in order to make £500 to £1,000 every month tax free with a high probability of doing that? Yes, I would. It's a very good. That's an amazing return if you can do that consistently. And with sports betting, if you do it right, it is high probability that you can do that. So yeah. And it's not something you're going to get rich quick, but if you want to get rich, build that pot, get into real estate. That is the one that's going to build your true wealth, in my honest opinion. And you can really do it in a few years if you know what you're doing with properties.
I mean, they do. Obviously, property it goes up and down, just like the stocks, what have you. But
maybe a bit less volatile, but yes, it goes up and down.
You're not going to be 90% down.
Yes.
For buying a property.
Yeah.
You're just not. I mean,
but in the long term, it's
over the long term, they say that every 10 years the property doubles in value. Obviously, that's an average. Obviously, different places, is different money. But amount of money that you can that it generates. But they say within every 10 years, property doubles. So if you're 20, by the time you're 30 and you've maybe bought £100,000 house, I don't think there's many now. But it could be worth 200,000 in 10 years. Which this is why property will never fail me. Never fail you, and for generations.
And you know the numbers out there. You know the demand at the moment is double the supply.
Yeah.
And what happens when the demand is that high and you can't catch up with supply?
That's
It's
it.
economics. It's going to keep going up in the long term of things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
and
this is why I like Bitcoin. This is why I like
it,
Bitcoin. There's just a finite supply. That's what. It, that's the only bit that's ever going to be mined, and there's going to
yes,
be never any more coins. So,
yes.
yeah, I think it is the digital gold. It is the
Yeah,
digital gold.
I do. I do like it too. Yeah, and I think you hear a lot of horror stories of people getting scammed in cryptos or
Yeah,
not being able to cash out on that.
but
But
that's not
again, I
Bitcoin.
question that is down to the person not investing on the right platform and trusting the wrong people.
Yeah,
Like if you get yourself, like again, I think this is where a mentor could help or somebody with the right experience
yeah,
that's honest because they're
yeah,
going to guide you. You're going to save a lot of losses and you're going to make more over time as well. And with cryptos, if you do it legitly through the right platforms like Binance, Coinbase, that's not going to happen. Only if you go to a scamish kind of platform, then you can't cash out because at the first place is a scam.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely, have a look at your profile, your TikTok, your link tree. Um, if you're watching this, you know, uh, Magic Yen Wealth. Is that right? Magic Yin Wealth.
YIN, yeah, wealth, yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just go and search. I know that I've watched nearly every video, and it's really opened my mind up to strive for more as well. So we're gonna have to leave it there.
Mm,
I
mm.
know that we could talk forever because
In a way,
we've
this is where the
obviously got the
network
same
comes in. Eh?
passions.
I've watched some of your videos too, quite a lot of your videos too, and I like your hustling. And you're a hustler, and you've had a lot of experiences over your time. Over the last decade and more in business, you're a hard worker. It comes across, and you
Yeah,
and now you've gotten into cryptos and you like properties, and I think that is a really good way to live life. And then and I think even somebody young who's watching this, if you for the next 5 to 10 years you build a property portfolio that's worth £1 million, let's say by your 30s,
yeah.
and if properties goes up doubles on average every 10 years, by the time you're 40, you've got your multimillionaire automatically.
And do you know what? This is what it's all about. Is just taking that jump, but risk averse.
Hmm.
Risk
Hmm.
averse. But yeah, no, I do appreciate what you've said. But yeah, it's like anything. As you've got to enjoy life. You've got one life, and enjoy it. Don't don't just don't spend the years regretting what you could have done, and go
Yeah,
and do it. We've said,
exactly.
we've said,
Hmm.
if you fail, try again. Every millionaire has failed and come back with more.
Yeah. And what's
So
the worst that can happen? So what if you fail and lose it all? It's
yeah,
just, I mean, the life is so short. On average, you only live 80 years.
yeah,
There's been so many thousands of years of civilization, and 80 years is all we have. So what if you failed in doing that in those 80 years?
yeah,
And I think, like you said there, I would actually, one of my probably big fears is what I should have done and didn't
mm,
by the time I'm about to die on my
yeah,
deathbed, rather than what I did and failed.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
thing is, if you're watching out there, just
Mm.
think what you could be in 3 years, and just go to sleep tonight and think, this is what I could be in 3 years, you know,
Mm.
and yeah, live happy, everyone. So
Yeah.
thank you very very much for joining me. Um,
It's good.
yeah, like I
Pleasure.
said,
Enjoyed it.
we could talk all night because obviously we've done the similar things in the past and stuff. I'd love to own my own restaurants, but I can't cook. But I do have a cooking live. I can't cook, by the way, but I have a cooking live with a TikToker called the Max. Um,
Okay, right.
so
Uh-huh.
so so
That's that's interesting.
yeah, she's a vegan, and
Okay.
I'm a meat eater. You're never gonna you're not gonna change that. I'm not, but
Huh.
but for one night only, I'm cooking with the Max, and we're gonna do it
Oh
live.
wow. That sounds quite exciting.
We're gonna
Wow.
we're gonna
Like
tell.
a chef or what?
I
Is
know.
she like is she?
No, no,
Or
she's. It's just an It's just a passion. It's
oh
just a
wow, okay.
passion. Um,
Okay.
but
Interesting.
yeah, we're going to tell people the ingredients before, and we're going to set up so people can join the live, so
Ah,
people can cook
okay.
with us. So it'd be great if you could join that as well.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, yeah, yeah. Keep a
you
lookout.
know,
Just message me, and then if I can, oh yeah,
I
uh-huh,
mean,
yeah, it'll be good.
I hope he don't put her under pressure, you know. But having such a super chef, and
Mhm.
yeah,
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 that'll be good.
yeah. So we'll be doing that probably next week. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
fun stuff. Good stuff. I like what you're doing here. This is actually a really good idea. Makes it fun networking with the people as well. This is what our talk's been all about.
yeah,
It's great.
but I mean, she's a beginner in crypto, but she loves crypto. This is kind of what I want to run my channel to be. Is yeah, you're like you're a property entrepreneur. She's done a lot in the past as well with the acting and stuff, but it's about bringing like cooking and stuff and talking crypto or
Mm,
you know, I want to
mhm.
make crypto fun instead of just going, this is a crypto wallet. Why not cook with the person and then talk about crypto wallets while you're cooking and burn. I burn water. I really do. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if this is going to be a mega fail, but yeah,
Oh,
if
enjoy it. Hey, it's okay to fail, right? We
it's
talked
okay to
about this.
fail, I'm
Enjoy
happy
it.
as long as
As
I
long as
don't
you don't
burn
burn
down
the
the
kitchen down.
house.
Yeah.
Don't burn down the
Yeah.
house. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll stop recording now. But
Right. Mm.
yeah, I'll just stop.